Hello and welcome to another edition of This. We take a look now at this. In favour of zero waste economy. Every industrial byproduct becomes the input to some other industrial process. Only biodegradable products are returned into nature. There is no waste. The idea is as simple as that. Making it happen, perhaps more complicated. But this is what we need to do. We need to get our economy and our industry reintegrated back into ecology. Because our civilization has come out of the natural world, but it's not sustainable. It relies on the natural world for its existence, and it's gradually, and not so gradually now, destroying the natural world which it relies upon. So we need to reintegrate and make our economy, make our industry be a part of the ecosystem. And that means we need this new paradigm of zero waste, where everything either goes back into nature or becomes an input to some other process. And that is the idea of the zero waste economy, and that's what we need to build. Let's take a look now at this. In defence of non-violent civil disobedience. So many of our hard-won gains have been through non-violent civil disobedience. For the right to vote, for example, the suffragettes, the Chartists, civil rights movement in the USA, the movement led by Gandhi, movement led by Nelson Mandela. We honour these movements of the past. We need not shy away from applying these strategies to climate change and justice for the third world, for example. And one more. In defence of land reform. Highly unequal distribution of land ownership is not economically efficient and does not promote development. The origin of this highly unequal distribution of land has often been land grabs with no legitimacy. For example, foreign invaders claiming the land and setting up a colonial state with feudal land system. In times of hardship, the rich can call on their reserves to weather the storm, while the poor end up having to sell out their stake to richer landowners and then go and work for them for low wages. Thus, the rich do really well out of economic crises caused by bad weather or other forces because they end up increasing their holdings. The poor, on the other hand, often lose everything, thus inequality rises. If there is a more democratic sharing of resources, people are more empowered to develop from the grassroots, which leads to a higher level of development than if people are serfs serving an elite of moneyed interests. Why? Because people are more motivated to use their ingenuity and initiative because they have a stake in what they're doing. People might work physically harder if they are enslaved by debt or by lack of owning any resources, but their human creativity will not flow. Empowering people locally is the way to healthy development. Trying to micromanage things from above will only go so far. That's justifying it from the point of view of the rulers in terms of why they should permit land reform. From the point of view of the people, it's our fucking land, give it back. The land was always held in common. Anyone who tries to put a fence around it is a criminal. That might sound... I've deleted a bit by mistake there. Excuse that. Certainly there should be limits to the extent that a small number of individuals can take land away from the majority of the population. Why should people be allowed to monopolise and hoard resources? At the same time, there are philosophical reasons why some level of private ownership of resources might be justified, but there are also reasons why it shouldn't be taken as an absolute. Otherwise, you can end up with a tiny elite owning most of the world, which is pretty much what we have now.